Hello, it's Len from Straight Talk from the Homeland. Communicating with the devil. Well, what do I mean by that? I'm talking about communicating with an uncaring, self-centered, selfish world, and in some cases educated even to dislike this part of the world. I'm, for example, talking about Pakistanis who know nothing about Armenians, but they're educated to dislike Armenians, and even the only country not to recognize this ancient land. Amazing. So why am I talking about communicating with the devil? Well, because we've got thousands of people blockaded right now. Armenia under invasion and daily attack. Yet I don't see anything about this on the news. I don't see that anyone cares much. I don't see the uproar from international organizations like UNICEF, that tens of thousands of children are suffering right now. I don't see UNESCO going on about destroyed Armenian cultural heritage. Nothing. So why do Armenians have problems with communicating with the world? Yes, Armenia is a small place. They have one advantage. They have a very large diaspora, very active for the most part. But they have trouble getting the message across. Well, it seems clear that the fact that many Armenians here don't speak English is one reason. They can't communicate in this universal language. And when they do communicate, they speak with what I call poetry. You know, it's a nuance. I'll give you an example. My most hated expression from Armenians is that something doesn't correspond to reality. I'd never heard of any such thing as a native English speaker like this before I came here. It means is telling a lie or is untrue. Why not just say it's untrue? Why not just say it's a lie? But Armenians seem to think that by speaking in such nuanced language, it won't upset people. This is a part of their general culture. But the problem when you're communicating with the outside world about something as important as probable ethnic cleansing and genocide, you have to be talking direct to people, don't you? You have to be getting into them and making them understand and empathize. And that's another problem. When Armenians are talking, quite often they're talking at the same time. You can see that they're not really messaging people and understanding what that message is, how it is being received, right? The only thing that's important is them talking. So the inability to understand the receiver and what messages the receiver wants to hear is critical. You can see that with the Ukraine, how well they communicate to the world with their presentation, not just in words, but the person. You know, it might be the type of skin or the hair color. Yes, there's always a bit of racism going on, isn't there? A little bit of self-interest. But that's the point. If you want to communicate to the world, you have to do much smarter communicating. And on that note, you know, we've tried to suggest that we could help the Armenian and Artsakh governments, but do we get a reply? Do we get any response from our offers of assistance to communicate to people? The answer is no. So I don't understand how Armenians, without a genocide of course, think that they are going to stop this uncaring attitude. Even if people for the most part don't know about Armenia, surely if you communicate it in a better way through different organizations, through the diaspora, as I mentioned, that's the one big advantage for Armenians. So you need to understand how to present a clear message, how to project that message so that those people have empathy on the end. I mean, what do the people at the receiving end want to hear, basically? And you need to do it with a lot of visual media, you know, videos, for example, that show quite clearly that Artsakh was never part of a sovereign Azerbaijan, that Azerbaijan only became a sovereign country able to claim territorial integrity in 1991, whereas Artsakh was already separate by 3 years before that. And thence, any discussion about separatism is invalid, isn't it? But do I hear Armenians talking about the fact that there is no separatism for Artsakh's democratic freedom? No, I don't hear terribly much. In fact, I hear sometimes the reverse. I hear some stupid Armenians and even so-called international experts talking about remedial secession, which means that you're suggesting that Artsakh is part of Azerbaijan and needs to separate. No, it's already separate. You don't want to be put in the same category as Luhansk Donetsk, do you? Separatism's a dirty word these days. So that's what I'm talking about, being smart where you think, where you're communicating. I see the Artsakh government and even media showing children playing, and even obese children in Artsakh, trying to convey to the world that there's children starving and that there's great human rights abuses going on in Artsakh, but they show children playing. So that's not the right message, is it? Hopefully we can get to the point where Armenians start to listen, which is a great problem for most Armenians, and take on board what I'm saying and learn how to communicate properly before it's too late. Thank you for listening. Please like, share and subscribe. This is Len from Straight Talk from the Homeland.